Om Shanti. Today, Baba is drawing our attention to two very important dharanas or points for imbibing, which is not what Baba regularly speaks about. So, one is Ek Nami. Ek Nami means belonging to just one. And second is economy. So, economy means freeing yourself from the waste of resources. So, Baba says that we are approaching, or at this point of time, we could say that we are in the midst of a lot of upheaval in the world. So this is the time for chaos and upheaval. If you look around in several parts of the world, there is too much chaos and upheaval going on. Whether it is about the elements of nature or economic conditions or social unrest, there are so many things going on. And slowly, those waves will come, or those, that fire is going to reach into all the parts of the world. And Baba says that in such times, you need touching power and catching power. So you see that mostly we function or we make decisions based on logic and experience and calculation of the world. So whatever calculations you can make logically, you base your decisions on that. But when situations are very new, situations are not something that you have seen earlier. So when there are times of chaos and upheaval, then we are faced with many situations which come all of a sudden and which you have never thought about, or there is no previous experience about it, and it doesn't fit into your logic of what in conventional ways. However you make decisions, those conventional ways are not working in those times. For example, when we saw the time of COVID, and that time it became really difficult to make decisions about whether to go to work or not go to work, or where to live, where to go, or if somebody is stranded somewhere, whether staying there is the right thing or going back is the right thing. There are so many decisions that had to be taken. And I remember there was one brother, and he was stuck in a different state and in a different city, and his little children, two little children he had, and those children didn't have a mother, so the mother had already passed away many years ago. And these two little children, they were left with the neighbor for 2 days, and he had gone to a different state, and then there was a lockdown, and then these children were stranded with the neighbor. And this brother, he somehow, on the internet, he searched our number, and then he called to the center, and he said, what is the right thing to do in this situation? Should I risk my life and go back, or should I continue to stay here and just have the faith that my children will be looked after and they will be secure and fine? Should what is the best thing to do? So I said, we cannot decide that for you. So those decisions you have to take on your own, and these decisions, nobody can take for you. So even if somebody can share, what they would do in a similar situation, but you have to understand that although situations may look seemingly similar, they are not similar for any two people. Because two people are not the same, their karmic journey is not the same, their sanskars are not the same. and only you can decide for yourself. And then, even with Baba's children, we will be in a position where we will have to make decisions and make choices, and every Brahmin will have to do that for themselves. And Baba says, for that you will need what we call touching power and catching power. And how do we develop that touching power and catching power? So Baba says, by paying attention to two dharanas. One is being ek nami, so belonging to the one. Now, what is the sign of belonging to the one? So there are two prominent signs. When you just remember one, and when you just follow the directions of one, that is called belonging to the one. So, although every Baba's child says, I belong to just one Baba, but we don't. So, we belong to many others. And you see, whoever we are belonging to, or we have this sense of belonging for in this world, they are all perishable. And you will be sailing in the same boat as them. So you see, suppose there are 10 sailors in one boat, and then that boat is sinking. So then you need the lifeguard who is standing out of the boat to help you. You cannot help each other because that boat is sinking. So when there is an upheaval in the world, then all those who you say they will help you, or you belong to them, or they belong to you, you will all be in the same situation, and nobody will be able to help anybody. And at that time, you need to receive strength and directions and the ability to discern and decide from the one who is beyond this upheaval, who is, out of this system of this world of chaos, and that is Baba. And but you cannot forge this relationship overnight. If you have that relationship, then Baba will come to your rescue. So and also, you will be able to take help from Baba if you have that ek nami, if you belong to just one. And two prominent signs: you remember just one, and you only follow the directions of one Baba. And if that is the case, then your intellect will have so much clarity and such clear connection with Baba that whatever Baba is signaling you will reach you. You will be able to understand Baba's signals. So, have you seen that people understand each other's signals when they have a relationship, a heart-to-heart relationship for a long time? So, I remember there was this one time when I was in office, and there were a husband wife in that office, and they were working together, and then the wife was asked a question, and then the director said, don't look at your husband, because if you look at him, he will signal you something and you will understand. And I want that answer to come from you. So you see, even if you don't speak, you can understand each other's signals. And but you see, whose signals do you want to understand at the end time? Because when we are sailing in the same boat and that boat is drowning, you cannot depend on each other's signals, because nobody is thinking right at that time. So then you need signals from Baba. So have you forged that relationship, that heart-to-heart relationship, or that relationship where you are in constant remembrance of Baba, and in so much silence all the time that you are only listening to what Baba is saying. And then you will have that, that connection where Baba can teach you or tell you what to do and what not to do at that time. So, this is one thing that Baba says we have to pay attention to so that our intellect has clarity and it can receive signals. Second thing Baba says is economy. Now, what is economy? Economy is being free from the burden of waste. Now, you see, there is this expression, burden of waste. And Baba always says there is weight of waste. And where is that weight accumulated? It is accumulated in the intellect. And it makes your intellect very clouded if you are wasting things. So if you're wasting your time, if you're wasting your thought, and if you're wasting your resources which you are a trustee of. So we are all Baba's children and we are trustees of our body, mind, wealth, and we are trustees of our time, thought, energy. And if I'm wasting all of that, then it is creating a karmic burden. And that karmic burden weighs on the intellect, and that intellect cannot have clarity. And I remember, there was one brother, and he's a good BK, surrendered BK for a long time. And in one situation, he made a decision which was a bad decision. And later he was talking to me, and I asked him, because there was a good relationship. So I asked him, so how did you make such a bad decision at that time? It is, it is not very, very usual of you to make such bad decisions. So you make good decisions. So he said, you know what? In my Lokik family, there is a tragedy that happened some days back. And since I'm living in the center, so there was not much anybody could do in that tragedy. So there was no point in me. So there was nothing I could actually do. But because I was very attached, I created a lot of waste thoughts. And because of those waste thoughts, I was not in the state where I could make a good decision in this situation. So he said that my mind was all over the place, and then my intellect was not working well. And as soon as I took that decision and, I went into that loss, then I was immediately, because I'm a Brahmin, so I could know that this happened because there was a lot of wastage of thought. So you must, and every BK has this experience, is it not? So when you have wasted anything, maybe your time, thought, your energy, or, your capacity to form relationships, you're wasting on Lokik relationships where they have no intention to be served by Baba. So if you have wasted any of this, or even, your wealth or your physical energy, if you're wasting, then you can feel that you cannot receive Baba's touching at that time. And just think about, these days we still have, time to check and change. So right now we are in a situation, in a time when you figure out that, okay, I wasted this resource, so my intellect is not functioning well. So you can, change that. You can sit in silence. You can reform that relationship with Baba. But in times of upheaval, whatever you have done, whatever sanskars you have created, or whatever you have accumulated until then will come to your rescue. At that time, there will not be much scope for, accumulating power, or there will not be much scope for correcting yourself. because those will not be times of silence and times where the scenes of the drama are cooperating with you. Those are times of chaos and upheaval. So you must understand that if you're wasting resources now, then you will pay for it later. And these resources, this weight of waste is going to bog us down in the end time. And at that time, there will be no time for accumulating by using our resources fruitfully. So just like, when you waste your resources, there is a burden. Similarly, when you use your resources on Srimad, then there is the power of punya which is accumulated, power of good karma. And good karma lies in using your resources on the directions of Baba. So when you use your resources, your time, thought, energy, body, mind, wealth on Baba's directions, then you are accumulating the power of good karma, or you are accumulating what is called punya karma. And that punya karma enables you to receive Baba's touching in the last time. And if you're doing the opposite, then the opposite happens. This burden of waste on the intellect, this will stop us from receiving Baba's directions. And the interesting thing is, what happens when you don't receive Baba's directions? What happens when you don't have touching power and catching power? Then it is your ego that guides you, or you should say misguides you. So when the intellect is clean and clear, then you will receive Baba's touching and catching, which will guide you in the right direction. And when you don't have that, then it is your ego that will misguide you, and it will take you closer to destruction. And that is the interesting thing. And at that time also, if your intellect is not clear, you may egotistically think that Baba is giving you touching. But then it's not Baba, it's your ego that's speaking. I remember one time, so let me talk about, difficult times. And it's a very simple example, but I'll still share that with you. So I remember one time I was going to some place, and we were in a car, and there was two sisters and one brother or something in the car. And then the GPS stopped working. And we were all going there for the first time. Nobody knew the way. So, and the GPS was not working. There was no signal. And then there was this one sister, and she was in Gyan for a little while, and she was a good sister. She was very introverted, and she had this, economy and economy. And she said, okay, so let's use Baba. Baba is our ultimate GPS. And then within the car also, some people felt that could be possible. Some felt that wouldn't be possible. So Baba cannot give you directions about where to take the car. But then I had faith. I did not have that stage at that time because I was very new in Gyan. But then I had that faith that yes, Baba is the ultimate GPS. So I said, okay, Didi, you tell us. So she just said, take left, take right. And she just kept guiding us. And then slowly we reached that colony where we had to reach. And this is a practical thing I've seen. And she would just guide us with that sense of what Baba is telling her. And we reached that colony, and then our GPS started working, and then we could search for the exact house. And we didn't waste even 1 second. So, although there was no signal and other stuff, our time was not wasted, and we reached that place before the event was scheduled. And I remember when I told that Didi that Didi, I thank you because of you, there was no wastage of time today. So she told me something very nice that day. She said, if you never waste your time will never be wasted. But if you waste your time, then your time will always be wasted. So then I learned that from there. And I noted that and I thought that, yes, one should never waste his time. So these are some of the experiences, very practical, which have really inspired me on this journey. And this is one. So, although, it's just a very simple example, it wouldn't have mattered a lot at that time, even if we had reached 15 minutes late or something. But, in the end, it will be a big deal. In the end, even, 1 second of not getting the right touching will matter a great deal. So we must pay attention to economy and economy. And this is one thing. Then Baba today talks about, unlimited profit and loss, or unlimited win and lose. And Baba says, people are so concerned about winning and losing. In the world, people wage wars against each other, and then they are so interested in arriving at this win that I won the war. Or, let alone wars. If two people are talking and they have a disagreement or an argument, then, it becomes such a big deal that I should win this argument. Or I should win anything, a position, a trophy, a credit. These days, people are interested so much in winning against the other. And then Baba says, if you spend so much of your energy in these small wins and losses, and people take defeat very seriously in this world. So when somebody is defeated, then they put the flag down and they kind of signal that I lost and I was defeated. So winning and getting defeated are held in with too much value in this world. But Baba says, what is the ultimate win and defeat? So in this battle of Maya, are you winning or are you getting defeated? Because, in this battle with Maya, if you're winning, then you will win 21 births of sovereignty. You will be the ruler. You will have health, wealth, happiness, prosperity for 21 births. And if you lose, then you lose out on all of that. So this is such a big win and loss. And do you take every battle with Maya so seriously? So there is constant battling with Maya. And, Maya is so traditionally when we used to watch serials and stuff, old times, so, the battle would be held like, the opponent would just release an arrow, and then you had to also release an arrow, and that arrow had to defeat his arrow. And then you would eventually win by striking arrows continuously and defeating all their arrows. And Baba says, Maya also, it kind of releases arrows in the mind. Have you seen weak thoughts, negative thoughts, thoughts of disappointment, thoughts of criticism, blame, complaint, so many thoughts, or, just thoughts of laziness and thoughts that, comfort is very important and making you very comfortable in your in your carelessness. So all of these thoughts, all of these weak thoughts, negative thoughts, waste thoughts, these are the arrows that Maya is releasing all the time. And then you have to win that battle with Maya by constantly using the arrows of knowledge and yoga. So, you have to take yoga power from Baba in the form of powerful feelings. You release energy that defeats those feelings of, laziness or hopelessness or lack of faith or other stuff. Or, you release arrows of knowledge where, you release the arrow that I'm stronger than this, or I'm the soul, I'm the master, or Baba is with me, or this is just a soul brother playing his part. So, or the drama is benevolent. So, you have to also constantly be up against Maya. And do you take this battle very seriously, or do you think that, okay, for some time it is okay to take shelter with Maya also? Because, let alone what Maya is doing to you, sometimes you go and you live in Maya's home, and then, how do you live in Maya's home? When you open the phone and what stuff on, what stuff that's, bringing in all the vibrations and the thoughts and the belief systems of the world into your intellect. It is all of that. I remember, there was this one brother, and he's in school, and he's all of, I think, 15 and a half something of age. And his mother brought him to the center, and I was just talking to him, and his mother said he's always on the phone and watching stuff. So I said, what do you watch? So he said, I like crime dramas and I like horror. So I said, so are you a criminal? So he said, how can you say that? I'm not a criminal. So I said, how can you enjoy crime if you're not a criminal? So he said, what kind of logic is this? You can enjoy anything. I said, no, you cannot enjoy anything until and unless you relate to it. Can you enjoy something if you don't relate to it? Yes. You cannot enjoy anything if you don't relate to it. And if you can relate to the mind of a criminal, then your mind is also working similarly. It's just that, maybe your circumstances are different. And do you want to nurture that seed and, water it and let it grow into a criminal? Or do you want to change that seed inside you? So even if, we have 63 births of sanskars, and we may be attracted to something, or we may be liking something, but that doesn't mean that you want to encourage yourself on that path. So if you are attracted to, if you're attracted to actions of wasting time or watching stuff that's negative, or I remember there was this one sister, she once told me, I like psychological thrillers. So I said, but how can you enjoy the thoughts of a twisted mind? It's a twisted mind, and you are trying to read into that twisted mind and enjoy the illogical turns and twists of that mind. And if you can enjoy that, then what sanskar are you creating inside yourself? So we must understand that for 63 births we have lived in the world of Maya, and because of that, because of Ravan Rajya, we have many sanskars of of the worst kinds. It's nobody is spared from that. Every soul has this. That is why these negative things are so popular. So you look at all the movies and series and reels and whatnot that are created, and all those negative traits inside you are being fed. And when there is a negative trait inside you and it is being fed, you feel good. But then what are you becoming because of that? So somebody is feeding your fear, somebody is feeding your anxiety, somebody is feeding your criminal mind, somebody is feeding your twisted mindset, and you are enjoying all of that. And it is a wonder that you don't understand that if you can relate to something that is so bizarre, that means that you have a problem within you and you need to correct that. You don't need to feed it. So there is no problem with having a problem, but then there's a problem with feeding it and not correcting it. Which way are you trying to go? So then you have to understand that instead of defeating Maya, we are kind of, encouraging Maya and opening the doors to Maya and making it enter our lives also. And Baba says, if you're really interested in winning, then don't go into these small wins and defeats. Even if you lose an ego war or you lose a real war, doesn't matter. But this war with Maya, this is, if you lose this, it's going to cost you a long time. So this is also what Baba says. And although, there are many points, there's about tolerance also Baba speaks today. But one point I'll take, one more point. Baba says today that in this world, people think that there are some people who are pure. And, everybody is seeking purity, peace, happiness. And then they think that, this person is pure, so they can make me pure, or they can bless me at least, even if I don't want to be pure, but I can be blessed by this person, or this person is peaceful or happy and they can give me that peace and happiness. But Baba says, in this world, in this old world, nobody is pure, happy, or peaceful. Because this is an old, impure world. Any sadhu, any sannyasi, nobody is pure because everybody has taken birth through lust. And anybody who takes birth through lust cannot be pure. And, in Christianity, there is a very clear mention that when you're born through sin, then you are a sinner. You cannot be pure if you are not. So even if you're not engaging in obvious acts of sin, but that seed of sin is there because you're born from that seed. And Baba says, Baba explains that and says that everybody is born through lust. Only deities are born without lust. Deities have a pure birth. So Baba says, in this world, there is nobody who is pure or peaceful or happy. And even if somebody has temporary happiness or temporary peace, they can give it to you temporarily, but nobody can make you pure, peaceful, and happy. Nobody can give you that gift. So only the ocean of purity, peace, and happiness can give you that gift. And only the children who are taking that gift from Baba can uphold that gift and show that path to others. If I want, I cannot give somebody permanent happiness and peace, but I can show them the path through which I got that permanent peace and happiness. So Baba says, I am the only source, and everybody has to take that purity, peace, and happiness from me. And when you take it from me, then you go into lasting purity, peace, and happiness. For 21 births, you have permanent purity, peace, and happiness. You live in that world. Okay, Om Shanti. Anybody would like to share something, please do.
Om Shanti Didi.
Om Shanti.
From today's class, which I really like, is first point. If you never waste your time will never be wasted. It's so, it's very powerful. It's so elevating. And another thing, which was also a part of my self-manthan, which I came to know today, that you cannot enjoy anything unless you relate with it. And it's very, very true.
Yes.
So I personally also have always tried to understand that how can people enjoy thrillers and all, but it's their personal choice. But this point is very true.
Yes.
And if it is in us, for some reasons, we need to really check. And another thing, in our daily life also, next point, I believe that most of the time we understand Gyan, everything is okay, but as the day goes by, we forget that we are in a battlefield with Maya.
Yes.
And to discern that every point and to encounter it at the same time with the points of Gyan and Swaman, it is tough, but it is something we really need to work hard on this, at least for myself.
Correct.
So
Correct.
thank you, Divya. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti Divya.
Om Shanti.
Today, Baba said that you children are Kuber.
Yes.
We children receive the treasures in the form of heaven.
Yes.
And he also said that there is a story of God the friend.
Yes.
He used to give the kingdom for a day to whoever you met first.
Yes.
So all these examples today Baba is giving for us to remain in happiness and in Swaman also.
Yes. Very nice. And you see, Baba says that I give the kingdom for a day to whomever I meet first. And when Baba comes, Baba meets us first. So, we are the first creations. So then Baba gives us the fortune which is remembered as the fortune of Kuber in Bhakti. So beautiful. Okay. Om Shanti. Thank you. Anybody else would like to share something?
Mr. Om Shanti. I really like the touching power and catching power.
Yes.
And like even if you have the touching and if you are not able to catch, so the touching power is not made use to. And the thing that how we can develop is through dharna of ektat and economy.
Yes. Yes.
So that is what I really like most.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Om Shanti. Anybody else would like to share something?
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
We have to be very cautious while watching that what we are watching, what we are taking from this videos and anything else. So we have to be very cautious because that depends on what is there in our mind as well.
Yes. And what are we watering? So it might be there, but then what are we choosing to grow and add to? Yes. Okay.
Then only we can shift now. We can shift from negative to positive.
Yes, of course. Okay. So thank you. Om Shanti.